Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Shane, Steven, and David. Say what's up, guys.
Hello.
Good morning, afternoon, or night. I don't know.
What's up, nerds? That's my new thing now, David.
It's his new thing. He says, "Sup, nerds." Uh, so we're back with another Commander Grades video. This time we're going to be talking about the multicolored commanders that came from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. And I think we got a lot of really good ones. So this video is going to be separated into two parts, like the monocolored. So we're going to talk about the first 7 here, and then the second 7 in another video. So let's start it off. This first one is Go-Shintai of Life's Origin. Go-Shintai of Life's Origin is 3 and a green for a 3/4 legendary enchantment creature shrine. You can pay a white, a blue, a black, a red, and a green, and tap it to return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It also says, whenever Go-Shintai of Life's Origin or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. So we got shrines galore, and our boy Steven is going to start us off because you are the shrine guy.
All right, so this is the shrine I've been waiting for. We've been talking about so many shrines throughout the video so far, and I think this is amazing. We can finally bring all 5 colors to one deck, and I've never been so excited for a commander ever. I literally already built the deck, kind of with David a little bit, and I've already ordered it. So
you're super excited.
Yeah, you could say I've already ordered the deck. So, I mean, bringing all 5 colors, whenever another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. The possibilities are endless here, and I just think it's going to be so fun to actually play this deck.
David,
Plus, I actually opened up every single one. I mean, they're granted they are uncommons, but I mean, I did open up every single shrine in my set booster box, so.
True. That's fair. That's pretty awesome. I did watch you open some of them on camera. It's very cool.
Content.
David, Steven mentions that you helped him build his deck. That means you like it too, right?
The possibilities are at 17. There's 17 shrines in Magic. All right.
That's enough, right?
I don't hate this card, but I don't love it either. So one of the things that I feel like is really interesting that we do have to kind of look at is the fact that Shrine is not a creature type. Shrine is an enchantment type. So a lot of the cards that you would typically put into a tribal deck to support that tribe don't work with Shrines. Breaking down what this card does, just generally, its first ability is good if you want to play catch up, and it's super mana intensive. Its second ability is solid so long as you can get some other shrines in play, but there's 17 in total in all of Magic. And that includes this one. I don't think you're going to be making as many tokens as what you think, and I feel like this deck is going to be a little bit more susceptible to hate. I don't really think this is going to be the tribe that you want to go with. I think that this absolutely could be a fun deck. I'm just not convinced that this is going to be a deck that you're going to sit down at a table with and really seriously hope to win with. Now,
so what I will say on that point is I agree with you, and I'm about 60% in agreement, 40% in denial. And what I will say is because I think what you're saying about tribal, I agree with, but I think the tribal isn't just the creature aspect of the deck that you should be looking at as well. I think it's just the overall abundance of enchantments with a 5-color deck.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I look at it like this. This is a 5-color deck. If I really wanted to, I could go crazy with a combo. I could use like the dramatic dramatic reversal and Isochron Scepter. Oh my goodness. Combo to generate infinite mana if I have the mana rocks to do so, which then would allow me to tap and untap this thing repeatedly using that combo. And all of that mana to cast or to bring back all of my enchantments from the graveyard. So like there are ways to make this thing nutty. If I want to self-mill, I could potentially throw 40 enchantments in play in a single turn, which at that point I hope that you've locked the game up. But looking at this card is like I feel like it really wants to be that shrine go-to and not necessarily the enchantment go-to. I just don't know if there's enough shrines to make this actually viable.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that now with like Kamigawa being out and them actually adding more shrines to Magic, they've kind of seen like the love that I've had for this and maybe other people.
They've seen it.
Specifically
The
me.
Magic specifically has seen your love for shrines
yeah.
and said Steven needs more.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they make more. But I mean, I just think the fact that being able to add all 5 color groups and being able to return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield, not even just to the hand, to your battlefield. I just think that it's crazy what you can do, and I just can't wait to see the cool stuff that this does and the cool decks that it brings.
I'm on board with it being a very powerful enchantment commander because this might be the only like legitimate 5-color enchantment commander. And that's pretty much all I got on that. I mean, you guys said all the points that I think I was trying to make, but Shane, what do you think?
I honestly don't have an opinion on this card. I don't like cards that deal with all 5 colors because like I just immediately see that even if it might be fun to play, it's going to be costing me an arm and a leg to play. And so I can see that the ability is amazing and I'm sure it's fun, but I don't really give a shit.
I don't give a shit, nerds.
Are you saying that because like a 5-color mana base is really expensive, or are you saying that because like I feel like this kind of has the same problem as the rest of the 5-color commanders that only costs like a single color pip to cast, and that it's really just generally a good stuff deck that you have access to everything?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not. I get that this one has more of a direction because it's like, oh, we care about shrines, but for most, whenever I see a 5-color commander, it's just like I have access to everything in Magic, and that's cool. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I get that this card is probably going to be good. It's probably going to go beyond what we've been talking about. I'm sure someone's going to find a bunch of different ways to break this and have it be an amazing card, but it's one of those things where if I don't enjoy it, I don't really give a shit.
So
All right.
we'll start with you, Shane. What is your grade?
I'm just going to give it a C. I think that it has. We have a ton of other 5-color commanders out there, right? Like, does this one like knock somebody else down? I don't know. So I'm gonna C. It's like middle of the road for me.
I'm also with you on that. I'm giving it a C as well.
I'm going to grade this as a C as well. I know that there's different directions that you can take this thing in, and I do think that it's a cool card. I feel like I would rather just stick with the shrine thing with this, and I don't know if there's enough to really fully get there yet. But I mean, that is a big yet. If they continue to print it, then this thing could go up over time.
And I know what you're thinking, guys. Steven, you must be giving this an A. Well, I'm sad to inform you you're wrong. I'm actually going to give this a B just because David does bring up a solid point. There are only 17 shrines. The tribal is a little hard to pull off. But due to the fact that I think you can go so hard with all the enchantments in Magic, being all 5-color pips, I think this is going to be a really cool commander. So I will be giving it a B.
All right, and with that, the average, unfortunately for you, Steven, is a C.
All right, cool. I'll see you guys next video.
Next up, we have Greasefang Okiba Boss. Greasefang Okiba Boss is 1, a white and a black for a 4/3 legendary creature rat pilot. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to the owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step. So, I'm going to start because I'm actually doing the upgrade video to the other Buckle Up, which is different colors, but still it's a vehicle commander. This one's not good, and I'll tell you why. Cool, you're returning the vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. but it's not crewed. It doesn't say it's coming in as a creature. So that means it still has to go ahead and get crewed by something. Maybe this, sure, if you want to. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem that good to me. David, what do you think?
This thing has 4 power. I mean, I feel like in most circumstances, this is a big enough body where it's going to be able to crew whatever it is that you want to be crewed. My gripe with this card is I don't really see a whole lot of vehicles in Commander. So I know that we just got some new ones, and this, I don't know, this to me kind of feels the same as a Shrine deck of like, as we continue to get more sets that kind of embrace that theme, then this card will gradually become better and better over time. But as we sit right now, I don't know if there's enough vehicles that are actually decent in a game of EDH to make this thing good.
Can't wait to prove you wrong when I upgrade the Precon deck against you.
Oh, no. I will admit, the new Precon vehicle is fantastic. However, it doesn't fit in this deck. It's white-blue. This is white-black. So those two are just not compatible with that.
I know, but you said vehicles in general aren't powerful enough.
All right.
The other problem I have with this card, before I move on to you, Shane, is that once you get the vehicles out of your graveyard, this thing doesn't do anything.
I'll get to play it
Sorry.
again.
So you're just trying to sack your vehicles to something?
Sack, or just, I think it's more of like when your vehicles die, you just get infinite access to your vehicles. What?
Can I throw it real quick? You are in black, so you do have access to cards that'll grab it from your library and throw it directly into your graveyard.
That's true. You got a good point.
I'm just saying that's not your only like way to get them. I mean, it's one of the ways to get them. I think this card, it seems more fun to play than the Shrine. I'm just kidding, Steve. I'm sorry. No, this
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding. No, this card, it I feel like it looks cool, but it's not. Like, it's almost like a trap, in my opinion. Like, it looks like it'd be fun, but I don't think that there's any way to build this to make it competitive. I'm probably gonna eat my words if somebody leaves a comment and goes like, well, "What about this?" But I feel like this would be better in like a 99 than in the Commander.
You know what, David? I think you've convinced me that this card's better than I thought, based on the fact that you can recur.
Hashtag changes grade.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know.
You do have
like
things
it.
like Buried Alive. You can go find those specific. Well, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm not entirely sure now that I'm thinking about it, because a lot of those cards actually do specifically go look for creatures.
Yeah.
Are vehicles creatures if they're in the deck?
They're not. They're considered artifacts, just like they play them on the field.
Okay, well, I may be changing my mind again.
Buried Alive. Does it specifically say creature?
Don't have the ruling in front of me, but I'm like 95% sure it does.
Yes, it does. Yeah, you're right.
All right, well, comment redacted.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still gonna stick with it though. I think the idea of getting cards and throwing them in your graveyard, whether it's like a discard method or something else like that, I think
self-mill or something. There's ways to do it.
Exactly. Steven, what do you think?
Well, the first comment I had written down was based on the fact that you guys thought this card was shitty. So now that you guys are changing your minds, I'm gonna say I agree with you. I think so. Originally, you guys thought this was bad. I don't think it's as bad as you guys say. I just think, like you guys were specifying before, it is pretty situational. But 3 mana for a 4/3 off the rip is pretty solid in my opinion. I like low cost commanders, especially early on, just because you can get some damage in. I think the fact that it returns it to the battlefield immediately, and then you get to put it back into your hand, I think is really cool, because most of the time I feel like most of the effects are like bring back from the graveyard at your end step, exile this card. You know what I mean? So I think just that alone is it just makes it pretty good.
Yeah. Cycling through your hand, I think this card would be fantastic. Consistently, that is. So let's talk about the grades. I personally am giving this a C. I think it's pretty average because it really, really, really leans on having the vehicles in your graveyard. I know, Steven, you said 3 mana for a 4/3, but that's literally all it is. It's got no flying, it's got no first strike, got nothing. It's a C.
Yep, and I will. I'll go ahead and agree with you. I gave this a C as well. I gave this a C instead of a B only because I'm not a fan of the vehicle going back to your hand at end step and staying on the field instead. So I think if we were to stay on the battlefield, I'd probably give it a B. But here we are.
If you stay on the battlefield, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a way different card that we're talking about right now. That'd be insane.
Well, yeah, that'd be a different grade too, Shane.
Shut the fuck up. I'm giving this a C as well. I don't think... I want to give it a B just so it beats the Shrine, but I think it's a C.
I'm going to stand firm. Oh, sorry about that, Steven. You go ahead and carry it away.
I'm upset. That's all. Shane just keeps upsetting me.
That's what he does. I'm going to keep it with my original grade here. I'm going to say that this is a D. However, and there's a huge asterisk next to this one, this is one of those commanders that is going to get better over time. The more vehicle sets that we get, the better this card becomes. I just don't feel like we have that critical mass of like actual good crewable vehicles that'll fit into a white-black deck yet.
Yeah, I think they really helped blue vehicles this set. So this one's kind of off. So that average is a C.
Suck it, Shane.
Suck it.
The next card we're talking about is Hidetsugu, Devouring Chaos. Hidetsugu, Devouring Chaos is 3 and a black for a 4/4 legendary creature, Ogre Demon. It has an ability where you can pay 1, sacrifice a creature, scry 2. It's got another ability where you can pay 2 and a red to tap it, which exiles the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a non-land card this way, Hidetsugu, Devouring Chaos deals damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. Seems pretty cool, man.
I'm a big fan.
Why?
And I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Not as a commander. No, I know we're talking about the commander, so I don't know. I feel like as at the helm of the deck, it could be kind of cool. You could have some pretty nutty turns. It's cool to have a sack engine, and the sack engine is to scry, which is cool, and you're digging. But putting this in Kalia, dude, whoo. But anyways, as a commander, no, I don't know.
Why would you put this in Kalia?
It's a demon, baby. You can come right out and start fucking shit up.
I guess.
I mean, Kalia does play big creatures, so I can see the connection here and how it synergizes.
But go ahead, David. Tell me why this is a shitty card.
Dave's going to hate it because you have to pay mana.
I hate mana.
I don't hate it because you have to pay mana. I just look. This is one of those kinds of cards where the first ability on this, pay a black, sacrifice a creature, scry 2. Totally fine. I wish you didn't have to pay the black, but whatever. The second ability, you pay an additional 3 mana, and then you get to actually do the fun part where you start stealing damage based on the top card that you're going to exile out. To me, I look at it like this is a super mana intensive commander. You pretty much always want to be sacrificing and scrying to set up that pay more mana and then tap it to actually hurt somebody ability. So for me, I don't like a commander that is mana intensive and requires that it has the a tap down. This isn't blocking for you. This isn't, I don't know. It's just like there's a little bit too much of an investment here. And then it's just to deal damage to a target. So this isn't hitting all of my opponents. This isn't hitting a certain number of creatures or anything. I mean, in most cases, I'm probably just going to go face, and I will give it the benefit of the doubt. And in Commander, you have some big spells. I mean, you have access to the Eldrazi that you may want to throw in this deck, but you're probably not going to be casting them because in Red-Black, you're not building up to the mana that you're probably going to need to be able to actually get them into the battlefield. So This is probably never going to hit for commander damage because its ability requires it be tapped.
And this card sucks.
Welcome to the conversation.
Steven,
tell me
what
I'm
do you
wrong.
think?
I agree with David. I mean, like, just red, black, obviously are awesome colors. I do like it a lot. I'm actually gonna do the same thing David did. I really like this card. I think the only reason why I like this card was because of like all the stuff for like the pre-release. Like you get to see like the neon red, the blue, the green, the purple. I think this card was really hyped up, and I think that's the reason why I liked it the most. But after hearing everyone's opinion and talking about this more, it's just slow. It sets itself up, but like at the same time, I agree with David. Any target, I would like this to hit everybody. I think if it hit everybody, I definitely would put this in more of a higher ranking than what I did. But I think other than that, I'm not a big fan of it.
That's very well said. I like that. So what is your grade?
Originally, I had this at a C, and I think I'm actually moving it down to a D for Dis Sucks.
I joined you in that, man. I had it as a C as well. Put it down to a D.
I'm also at a D. I love Rakdos. I love sacrificing. This is not doing it for me.
This card sucks. D.
Look at the D's across the board. And with that,
You know what
the
makes me really
average-
upset before we move on?
What?
Is that I was really hoping that the Shrine would get like the highest ranking, and I'm just looking at all the other cards we have to go over, and I'm just like, God damn it.
It's okay. Most of them are bad.
This card is a D. This next one, I think, might be amazing. This is Hinata, Dawn Crowned. Hinata Dawn Crowned is 1, a blue, a red, and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature, Kirin Spirit. It's got flying and trample. It says spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target, and spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. Fantastic card. Tell me how you're building this deck, David.
I did order cards for this deck. I actually picked up Hinata today. I feel like this is an incredibly complicated card. I have gone through so many different rankings, different grades for this, thinking about how it is that I can go about building this card, because I really do absolutely love how open and and I don't know, just how open this card is in terms of how you can build it. However, my first thought on this is like, holy shit, all of your big multi-target spells are nearly free. And then my second thought on this is, wait a second, my opponents are probably going to let me get away with that one time before they realize what I'm doing. And in addition to that, like the soft tax on this card as well is also interfering with my opponents. So I think that like this is actually like a silent hate generator. I feel like the first time I play this, it's going to go well and I'll probably do pretty well on that game. But I feel like the second time I sit down with this deck, my opponents are going to be already very aware as to what this commander can do and are probably going to aim to kill it almost immediately or counter it. And my thought on that is there are a lot of cards out there that really abuse this kind of ability. And my first thought goes to Magnum Opus, which is an 8 mana spell. With Hinata in play, it only costs 2 mana for you to cast. But with Hinata dead, if your opponents are actually dealing with it, it's an 8 mana spell that's probably just going to sit in your hand and be dead. So my thought on this is this card has a very high ceiling, but if you're not able to protect it or keep it in play, you probably don't get to play Magic. And I don't know how to feel about that.
David, you brought up a pretty solid point. You said that the first time you play with this card probably be a fun time. The second time, it'd probably be a little bit tougher because you'd be targeted. I thought of a strategy for you. Just play with 3 people and never play with them again.
That's assuming that they've never played up against this kind of deck before, though.
Yeah.
Because my first thought on this was, let me build like the crazy, I want to just cast like X spells for basically free type of thing. And then my thought after that was, well, those are dead cards in your hand if you don't have Hinata in play, because you're not going to have the mana to cast them. So is this actually better as like a spell slinger commander, where your instants and sorceries that you're going to be casting maybe only cost like 2 or 3 mana normally, and you're just abusing that discount?
Well, I mean, I feel like, and I feel like we brought this up in multiple conversations, with different cards, but like, I feel like with this kind of card, you're definitely building around this card. So would you not think it would be better to build more counter magic or more, I think this deck brought out a really cool card. I know it's blue. I think it's March of the Mist, where you can phase this card out, especially that's multiple targets. So now it's way cheaper. You have Fading Hope, bring this card back to your hand. So there are ways I think you can get around this card being hated on. Obviously right draw, right moment, but I just think that, I understand what you're saying about this card being hated on. I just think that there are ways to protect it more.
And I completely agree with you, and I love what you're saying. But that's why it is that whenever I look at this card, I don't see this actually as a 4 mana commander. This is at minimum 5, because you have to have that backup plan to keep this thing alive. Because I think if you tap down and if you have 4 mana in play, you tap all of it down to play this spell, I don't think it's going to be alive by the time that your next upkeep comes around.
I agree. I just keep thinking about a 2 mana Magma Opus, and I'm just like, oh, I shiver a little bit.
All right. Steven and I have done a bit of talking on this one. Hunter and Shane, what are your thoughts on this?
I love this card, man.
This is an all-star.
It really is. Like, everything about this card is just it. I understand where you're coming from, David, when you say this is a hate generator, but that's the point of Magic.
That means it's good.
Yeah. You're supposed to win, man. People are going to hate that you're winning, and this card is going to give that advantage.
Plus, there are 0 mana counterspells, baby.
True.
Pact of Negation.
Well, not the expensive ones. I mean, the ones that, granted, your commander has to be in play, but
I mean, Pact of Negation literally costs 0.
no, I know, but I'm saying, what's the other one then that's cost 0 that if you control your commander, it costs 0?
Force of Will. Or Force of Will, and then you can discard a blue, lose a life, and then what was the other one, David? I can't remember right now.
He's talking about Fierce Guardianship.
I'm talking about the super cheap one. You guys are talking about expensive ass fucking cards.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Fierce Guardianship is probably pretty quickly climbing to around the same price tag.
Yeah.
That.
But this card, man, just makes, like, who at the table is going to take one for the team, right? And use more mana than they should to kill this.
David.
Oh, only 1 more mana, and I feel like the correct play is to kill this. I don't know. This feels to me like one of those cards where if you play in a meta where people just like feed into your Rhystic Study, then sure, this is probably going to be fantastic, because they're just not going to deal with that extra 1 tax, and they're not going to kill this card. But if they actually play around that, this may be a dead deck more often than it actually is live.
But it's fun.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I still think that the ceiling on this card is insane. I just have to recognize that, like, whenever things aren't going your way, you're sitting by and watching 3 people play Magic.
No. Because, see, I'm going to build this in a Spirits Commander, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Spirit Tribal. Not
Let's
bad. I think we're all on board that this card is amazing, regardless of what we're saying. So let's just jump through the grades. I'm saying this is an all-star, and I'm giving it an A, hands down.
Who's next?
You.
I'm going.
Oh, this is a fucking A+, baby. I love this card.
I'm torn. I want to give it an A. I don't think I can, because I feel like this is going to bite me in the ass more often than not. I'm going to give this like a very strong B+, if that is allowed.
We don't do pluses around here.
Shane just gave it an A+. You didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, That really doesn't change anything. It's still an A.
This is like that kid who turns in his homework and gets like an 89.9%.
Still a B, baby.
All right, well, okay, with all these grades going in, I definitely have to give this an F to make sure the Shrine Commander comes back on top just a little
Sorry,
bit.
bud, it's not gonna happen.
I give it an A.
Yeah, with that, the average here is an A. This is an all-star. This is one of the best legendary creatures as a commander I think they've printed in a very long time. So move on. This next card is Isshin, 2 heavens as 1. Isshin, 2 heavens as 1, costs a red, a white, and a black for a 3/4 legendary creature human samurai. It says, if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. I'm building this deck. I'm super excited for this card.
Can I just say a few words real quick?
Sure.
Itali Primal Storm.
Yeah.
Just
Double the triggers, man.
Jesus Christ, man.
Exactly. This triggers not only creatures, by the way. If you have anything on the field that says if you're being attacked, if just a creature attacks, just anything that says attacks, that's on your side of the board. It triggers twice if you have this commander out. It's fantastic. What do you think, David?
Attacking in Magic is probably my least favorite part of the entire game. So
So
I
am
am 100% biased here. I think that this card can do cool things, but at the end of the day, you have 120 life that you've got to chew through, or I guess 21 an opponent if you're planning on trying to get there with this creature itself, which I don't normally think that you would be. I don't see this as a Voltron build. I understand that there are some interesting things that you can do with it. And I will admit, a 3-mana 3/4 is at least above stats. I just don't know how much I'm going to care about this effect. I feel like this is a deck that it can sit back and it can do its thing, and I don't necessarily have to pay attention to it.
I
Am
couldn't
I wrong?
disagree
Is this
more.
one of the? Am I wrong, Hunter? Is this one of the cards that we were seeing that has like an infinite attacking or attack step combo or some shit?
No, it's a different card.
Oh, okay. So let's say that shit's amazing. This card's still really fucking good though.
What do you think
I
about
think,
it, Shane?
I think I need to start going before David.
Why? Because David changes your mind?
I'd say 85% of the time.
You can't.
David's
let-
wrong.
Yeah.
For the rest of this, Steven goes before me.
Well, I don't think David's wrong. I don't think David's right, but I think David's more right than wrong.
Fuck just happened.
We Dr. Seuss.
You just did some mental gymnastics to end at the same. Okay. Go drink that Kool-Aid, baby. But this card's amazing.
This card is
Alright, Shane.
bonkers, dude.
All right, Shane, let's do this. David went first and convinced me that I'm not a fan of this card as normal. You convinced me that this card's better.
See, David pulls out fancy things like other card names. I can't do that. I could just say that if a card was going to do something crazy as a trigger, that crazy thing has to happen again. Like, and if there's a way that you can combo it off and be like, oh, when this happens, like, I'm telling you, there's a way to go infinite somewhere with this.
It 100% is.
I just don't know the name of the cards like David would know.
Think about Goldspan Dragon in this deck. That's 2 treasures.
I mean, that's not infinite, but that's a shitload of mana, yeah.
Yeah, because Goldspan also does the other thing. Think about Amber Wild Captain. If you guys don't know what Amber Wild Captain is, whenever an opponent attacks you, they lose life equal to the number of cards in their hand. That triggers twice.
Think about this, Steven. This could be a sick ass, like, it's not, it could be anyone at the table. So you could be doing some crazy political, like, oh, dude, attack him if you want my commander still out, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the politics can get nuts in this game.
Kiki Jiki.
Sure. There you go.
Kiki Jiki is gonna win you the game on the spot, regardless of whether or not this card is in
That's true.
play, if you're playing it correctly.
Okay, so don't think about Kikuji.
I absolutely love this card. I'm gonna move on to grades now. I think we've established who's on board and who's not. I'm giving this an A. This is also an all-star to me, and I cannot wait to build this.
Go ahead, Steven, what do you think?
I'm gonna give this a B. I'm sticking with my original score because at the end of the day, it is above board. I think Mardu is a great color selection for this. 3 mana, 3/4, and it can make a lot happen on the field. I'm gonna stick to my swords, not my guns, because this guy's holding some swords.
Wow, that was cute, dude. I'm gonna go before David because he's gonna shit on it. I'll make this card an A as well. I think that the sheer funness, that's a word I'm gonna say right now. The fact that you can start having some crazy like back and forth dialogue with your opponents. I mean, it goes beyond just the deck being good. There could be a whole meta going on. It'd be a lot of fun.
I will admit I am 100% biased with this. I feel like I win most games of Magic without ever actually going to combat or without ever actually attacking with a creature. Let me say that instead. I'm going to give this thing a C. I'm not a big fan of these kinds of strategies. And from somebody who does generally play combo like centered decks, this doesn't do anything to hurt me.
Sure.
But I could be wrong, but that's just me.
David, you've brought the average down a little bit. This average is going to be a B.
Good.
Moving on. This is Kotose, the Silent Spider. Kotose, the Silent Spider is 3, a blue and a black for a 4/4 legendary creature human ninja. It states when Kotose, the Silent Spider, enters the battlefield, exile target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard. Search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Kotose, you may play one of the exile cards. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it.
Wow, that's a
Steven.
lot of text to read that this card sucks.
Yeah,
5 mana, 4/4, and I don't want to talk about this. F.
okay, hang on. Before we get to grades, let's just
No.
talk about it a little bit.
No.
I really don't know what to say about this card.
We skipped so many cards before. We can skip this.
This doesn't work because of a commander, right? Every single card is different, so you're only going to get them for one card.
It's lit, dude. Ooh, it's lit. Yeah, I'm gonna say not a good card for commander.
Yeah, so David, do you have anything else to say to this?
This card doesn't function correctly, and I think everything that needs to be said has already been said.
All right, our grades. F.
F.
Wait, are we all doing this individually? We all had the same grade on this.
It's an F.
Yeah, okay. The average grade here.
Brings a terrible name, Demir. I feel sad as a Demir player.
The average grade here is an F. And the final card we're talking about today is Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa. Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa is 3 and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature dragon spirit. It's got flash. It's got flying. It says when it enters the battlefield, another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Kyodai. It also has Pay Wooburg, that is white, blue, black, red, green. It gets +5/+5 until end of turn.
Look better than trying.
I do
I'm kidding,
disagree,
Steven.
by the way.
Dude.
I do disagree with that point.
I'm fucking David. It's a joke that I know my buddy Steven likes shrines,
I don't like shrines. Okay.
so he loves shrines.
I love shrines.
Uh-huh. They're a way of life. Anyways, this is not a shrine. This is a spirit, and I like spirits, but I'm not gonna make this into a spirit deck because the Wooburg. I feel like again, Wooburg decks just turn into what could I put in that is every color of Magic. So I don't like it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. Wooburg gives it enough possibilities to take it anywhere you want to take it. Other than that, is this a good commander? I don't think too good. It does one thing, it gives one other thing indestructible, and then it can maybe have +5/+5 just to the end of turn.
You know what it's like, dude? It's like going to your favorite ice cream shop and they got too many fucking flavors. I want just 3 flavors, dude. Too many flavors.
Basic bitch.
Go ahead, Steven. Why is this good?
All right, it's not great, okay, but it's good. I think that the flash as a commander is what kind of gravitates me to this card a little bit. I just think that if somebody is, so here's the thing: you have Woobert, right? So you have a bunch of opportunities and a bunch of options to put different cards, different kind of combo pieces, or if you have a card that does something you really like and somebody's trying to target it and kill it, boom, you just flash this in and you just gave it indestructible.
Steven, I don't want chocolate.
This card. What?
I don't want chocolate, dude. Too many.
Too many chocolates?
He only wants chocolate, dude. That's the only flavor he wants.
But you said 3, so now you're lying to our guests?
They're nerds. I don't-
Go ahead, David. Speak this up.
I have been trying this entire time to think of a situation in which I would use this card, and I gotta say, I didn't come up with one. This is a no from me. This is competing with every other 5-color legendary out there, and it's just not doing anything unique or interesting that I think is any better than any of the other ones. So I don't know when I would want to play this card.
Also, giving flash to a commander really defeats the point of flash.
Yeah, because
I disagree.
Well,
I disagree as well.
I mean, you're not surprising anyone. If you leave the mana up for it, you're like, I wonder what's going to happen.
Well, what if you
I
have
mean,
No.
you're leaving
know?
4 mana up with white, green, red, black, and blue. There's a
See?
lot of options.
Too many fucking possibilities.
It's the fact that whenever it enters, it gives another target permanent indestructible, so you can use this defensively, and that's why I think the flash is still very good.
It's good. I agree. So I was gonna say I agree with Steven there. Like, this it doesn't seem like a commander. That seems like an oh shit. My deck that was doing something is getting like fucked with, but it's not a commander. It's just like a don't hurt me.
I mean, but that's where I disagree because, like, I understand you're saying that as because what you're saying to me makes it feel like you want to put it as a 99, not the commander. So in that aspect, I feel like for 4 mana, there are way more cards that can protect shit better than this. But as a commander, I think if you're leaving that mana open, it's kind of scaring certain people to stay away from your side of the board, maybe target somebody else. So I think defensively, this card works a lot better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's better as a commander, not in the 99, because it's a card you always have access to. So it's like in the 99, you might not get a card that you said is better cards. Yeah, there's better cards, but you just might not draw them here. You'll always have it, which is why I'm saying it's always like your oh shit button. But I don't know.
That was easy.
My comparison on this one though is that like this is so close in terms of just like I want to say converted mana cost to just like something like Kenrith, which provides so many more things that it can do
It's a
aside from
different
just
deck, David.
pump itself. I don't know if it is though, to be honest with you. Like this one, sure, it can grant something indestructible. Kenrith can instant speed recur something, just put it back onto the battlefield. So in both cases, it protects you from the destruction effects.
So with that, David, we'll start with you.
How the fucking strat?
What is your grade?
I don't really like this card. I don't like the body. I think the ability on it, if you're gonna use the pump effect, is very mana intensive.
Shit.
I'm really just not a big fan. I'm gonna give this thing a D. I don't see any time that I would want to use this over any other competitor for 5 mana.
See, that's where I disagree. I'm giving it a C because of that reason. Because it's 5-color, it's got the flexibility to do just more. So it's a C for me.
I am going to give this a B. I'm going to stick to what my original thoughts are. I think this is going to be a really good commander. I think the fact that this does give it all 5 mana types is going to be something kind of cool. The reason why I don't think this card is an A is because of what everyone's basically saying. I think that there are a bunch of 5-color commanders that do it way better.
Okay, well, Shane, what is your grade?
I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna give this like a D. I don't know, or maybe a C, because I get that it's gonna do cool things. I get that it's got Wooburg, so you can probably put a bunch of situational good things in there. I remember saying that this is kind of like an oh shit button in case something happens. You can flash it and give something indestructible. But from a personal standpoint, I'm not a fan of 5-color just because of the different directions you can take it in. Seems kind of like all over the place. And it just doesn't seem, I mean, I don't know. Wooburg to get a 5/5 turn, I guess that's good. I don't know. See.
All right, well, this average is a C. That is the end of part 1 of the multicolored legendary creatures from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter. That is @GuysThatMagic as well. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.
Later, nerds.
I hope you guys have a better day.
Bye.